Since the end of the controversial court case that awarded the San Juan Islands to the Hudson's Bay Company, the lands have started to be divided into parcels. Some are being purchased by those that want to start a new life on the coast, others looking for somewhere to retire. Some even believe it will be a great place to start a new business. There are also big and small companies eyeing up the resources the islands have to offer. Workers for those industries would need homes, and all parties would need services provided by a municipality. To incorporate a new municipality in the province of British Columbia, there are several requirements that must be met under the Local Government Act. When selling parcels, the HBC gave substantial incentives to individuals that had experience in local government and that were committed to become part of the Island Trust Council. This council would then go on to form the island municipality of the San Juan Islands. With funding from land sales and companies investing in resource development, plans were put in place to begin providing basic services to what would be the first community on the San Juan Islands. And so, the small harbor town of Saturday Harbor was founded. Hello, I'm Poplar Ponderosa, and welcome to part 1 of a new build series. The map I will be using is the San Juan Islands Harbour Start, which I made. If you're interested, there will be a link to the map page in the description. As mentioned, this is the Harbour Start version of the map, so we will need to build our own highways between towns that are created. As for trains, we don't have any outside connections, and I'll see if we can work them in later, but seeing as the islands aren't very big, it might not actually make sense to have rail. This map is based on a real location in the Pacific Northwest, but is not one-to-one. It is scaled down to approximately 40% of the real size. This build will be based on an alternate history I've created for the series. Essentially, I'm imagining what the San Juan Islands would be like if they were Canadian, and not American. I wrote a whole story that I recommend watching if you're interested in the lore of the series. That will be linked in the description and hopefully in the top right corner now. This will be a modded build with many workshop assets. I was initially going to use mostly vanilla assets, but then I went down the rabbit hole finding great Canadian assets that I think would just be perfect for this build. I'm not going to get into all of the mods that I'll be using now, but I will highlight a few important things. I have unlocked all tiles with 81 tiles as I want to build on almost every island. I've enabled electricity, water, and sewage along roads, which is actually very similar to how CS2 will play. And I will be using a variety of district styles and be mixing that up with Rico for some plopping as well. I'm going to go back and forth between the two when I feel like it's appropriate. I'll do my best to highlight some of the more special assets as I use them. Also note that I've used Game Anarchy to unlock all. I wanted to do the milestones and tried playing them, but it was difficult with the harbor only start, and there are only a few key assets that I really need to be placing really early, so I unlocked all and we won't be playing through the milestones. Also, I wanted to say that I won't be playing with realistic population. I tried that and it just didn't work out well for this map. Okay, enough talking. Let's get building. Here we are. I'd like to do a quick tour of what we have here. We've got the passenger harbor and the cargo harbor. Little visitor center with a custom shelter using the shelter network. We also have a water treatment plant. This is the inland water treatment plant that I used, and I replaced the drain that was here. Don't want the pollution going in. Notice the water current is actually moving this way into what is going to be our future harbor. or more of a city harbor, not a cargo harbor. I think I'll put the cargo harbor somewhere up the coast here, but I'm not sure yet. Added a little detailing around our inland water treatment plant. Thought it could use a fence. And a little Canadian flag, because, hey, we're doing San Juan Islands, Canada. All right. Now, let's get our road network going. And then after that, we're going to do a little bit of mix of zoning and lovable Rico and with a lot of services. And then later get into some detailing. And yeah, enjoy the road network. Right here we have the large water pump station. Ooh, made its grid too big. Okay, we'll fix that. I want to imagine we're using these ponds for our water source. I'm going to get rid of that water tower over there. I don't love that. Let's move on. Let's look at this lovely road network instead. We're going to need an industrial area. I think I'll build the network out this way a little bit. Over here in this area, I'm actually going to place garbage and recycling. And interestingly enough, the real waste transfer facility on San Juan Islands is in this area. What's the wind doing? Am I going to be downstream? Or downwind? Oh, hard to tell. Assuming it's blowing that way. Let's blow the garbage now away from the town. Okay, so we've got our power temporarily sorted. We have our substation done. Water, got our pump way out there. We have... Oh, we need power out to our pump. We do have power going there right now. I think I'm going to detail it with some rural utility lines. There we go. About that, got our power line. Taking power where it needs to go, even though we don't need this right now. I'm gonna stick with that for now. Okay, I'm getting distracted. This happens to me a lot. I need to finish the road network. Okay, I'm happy with this road network for now. We can definitely expand out in a few areas, but it's a good start. We can get our residential, commercial, and industrial going in here. Although before we do any zoning, we need to ensure that we have all our city services in place. Okay, we're going to do a quick inventory. We have our power, water and sewage. There's the cargo harbors, there's a warehouse, we have garbage collection. So the next thing we're going to need is healthcare. Let's get a hospital in place. And we have this one here by Basco. Oh, but actually, quickly before I place that, I've actually been wanting to make one of these streets into more of a commercial main street. I'm going to make it nice and wide and bring it straight down into the harbor. I'll use this 4U road with diagonal parking, and we'll put in a crosswalk. Okay, with our main street in place, we can now get back to placing the hospital. Okay, I like that setback from the road there. I'm gonna bob out this parking and build a parking lot up back. Next, we need fire coverage, and we'll be putting in this fire station by boldly building. And we've got this 1979 Ford fire engine prop out front, ready to go. Next, we've got the rural police station from NVK, and we're gonna pop that right on the main street. Now, I don't want to forget about death care, so I'm going to put in this community church by Gray Flame. Now, I need to find a good spot to put the church and graveyard. I know it's probably going to grow, so I don't want to choose an area that's too small. Up on this hill would be a nice place for a cemetery, but I might keep it as a park, or I'll keep my options open for now. This over here is also going to be a park in the future. I've chosen this spot on the side of this hill. It'll have some nice views of the town, and it's fairly central. Everyone's gonna have to drive past it. also going to need a gas station. We're going to use the City Fuel Supply by King Leno. Let's move on to education. What I've been thinking about doing for schools is actually merging the elementary school and the high school. So I have the mid-size elementary school by 220 Hertz and the city high school by King Leno. Since this will be starting as a small community, I think we can pretend that this is one facility serving all age ranges. I'm also going to plop down the small public library by Basco as a reminder myself to use it later. So I think this triangle lot isn't quite working out with the grades and the shape and just the size of everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to blow out a full city block and see if we can fit it in there. Now every town needs a municipal hall, so we're going to use the Countryside USA Town Hall by Cristolisto. Now, a service that can be easily overlooked is a hotel. It actually does serve the community in that people can stay there when they need to if something happens to their house or someone's in town. So I'm going to use this Sanford Low Rise by Smiley's. Here I'm going to build a couple small piers and a boat launch. I think this is a pretty important facility considering we're on islands, and this might be one of the ways that people get here. Now, with all our city services finally in place, it's time to do some zoning. Okay, now with our road network built and most of our city services in place, if you notice anything that's missing, let me know, but this should be a good start. Before I unpause the simulation, I need to apply the district style. If I go to the district and open up district styles, I'll find San Juan Islands, small town. And we're going to call this Saturday Harbour with a U because it's Canadian. And the real town that is here is actually called Friday Harbour. So, not being too creative there, but gets a little clever. After the zoning comes up, we're going to get into some detailing. Let's see how this zones out. We have the first of our residents moving in here. I want to upgrade this eventually so that this looks like it actually works like a real drive-on ferry. I don't think I'll ever be able to get the vehicles on there, but I'd like to be able to make something a little more realistic, more typical of the Pacific Northwest car ferries. Now, did anyone come out of there? There's 100 people on this one. And 62 on the next one. Here they are, our first residents. And we have Bradley Graham. Bradley Graham. Number 1. Who's next? Leighton Dixon. Then Faith Jackson. And Cedric Thompson. Wow, this sounds like a band. Loving it. Okay. Okay, let's see where these guys go. Actually, I'm wondering, did I turn off pocket cars? We'll soon find out. Am I going to make everyone do this long walk? Yep. Oh, and is this path not connected? No. Oh no, I feel so bad for them. You know what? I feel like this is going to be like a story that they'll all tell their grandchildren. When we first came here, we had to walk. Fix the path. Let's now see if some of them take that instead. Let's see who came out on front. Bradley Graham. What you doing, Bradley? Welcome to San Juan Islands, Bradley. And Leighton Dixon still following out behind with his lunchbox. Guy's going to work. Who else we got? Cedric Thompson still. A dog. We got dogs. What do we got? Like a terrier here? Yeah. 2 terriers. At least we can keep the pure breeds going there. Another thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go into TMPE. And I think I have... Yeah, realistic parking. So essentially I've stopped pocket cars from spawning. And so there's no cars here, except for the ones servicing the town. So I'm going to turn this off. I don't typically like pocket cars, but yeah, when you're building a Harbour Start, it looks like you kind of need it. Oh, another thing, I don't think I've switched out some of the service vehicles. Got a Crown Vic, police station, let's see if we see one spawn. There we go. Alright, here's our RCMP, Crown Vic, outside the police station. I think I'm gonna have to adjust that spawn point because I actually want them coming out the back. There we go. There we go. These cars should now spawn out back. Yeah, that's much better. Like that. These guys, where are they spawning? Here and here? Yep. That's fine. Our main street's starting to develop here. Ooh, I don't really want this fronting this street. I'd rather it fronts Main Street. I'm gonna probably end up plopping along here. Kind of get the desired Main Street I was looking for. But our town is filling out. Got lots of nice homes coming in here. Oh, check that out. We even got Canada Post. So it looks like almost everything that we zoned has filled out. We still have a lot of residential demand. We'll have to expand these residential areas or build another town somewhere to absorb that demand. But now it's time for the detailing time lapse. Got one last thing I want to sneak in here, and I think this is going to be the spot. I might need to get rid of these homes. Eminent domain, as Planner Plays likes to say. So we have Post. Okay, now that we finished our detailing, let's have a look. If we travel up Main Street here, you can see those tall Douglas firs in the distance. I love that. Here next to Big Time Brewery, we've got our Tim Hortons. This is the Tim Hortons #1 by Room 360. Also across from the park here, we've got a surf shop and auto service, and some buildings are disappearing. We'll have to look into that. We've done some light detailing down the alleys. Parking at the police department's busy. Oh, and looks like Constable's been drinking again. Here you can see the public library. I think the asset is a little dark. I tried recoloring it, but I don't know, I might have to replace it eventually. And I've got this open space back here for one last thing, but we'll get to that in a moment. Over here we have our combination high school and elementary school, with the soccer pitch on the high school side and a playground on the elementary side. I kept this vanilla parking lot. It's really working for me. I'm liking the size of it, just fits in there really well. It would be nice to have a sign for the school, but I don't have one of those props right now. I filled out the lanes between houses with trees. Kind of wish that I put some alleys in, but maybe next time. I densified the forests around the town quite a bit and added these huge Douglas firs that I just love. And here's our church and cemetery. So I'm thinking in the next one I'll expand into this area and build some farms out, maybe a little forestry or some mining. And eventually I'd like to build out a fishing industry. As you can see here, there's actually some decent fishing options. We have the anchovies and shellfish, even a little bit of tuna. That was hard to build into the map, but I did it. And here's the one more thing. I realized I was missing one service, and it was post office. So here's the Canada Post building by Sven Berlin. I don't actually have it functioning right now as a post office, but I'm going to see if I can figure that out by the next episode. And as we move back over here to the cargo and passenger harbors, I do want to replace this passenger harbor and make it work with these ferries as best as I can anyway, so I'm going to have to do something a little more custom. And I'll probably move that cargo harbor away and detail this whole area. And also move the power, because I don't really like the windmills. Well, if you made it this far in the video, I want to say thank you so much for watching. I'm really looking forward to seeing where this series is going to go. I'd like to thank a few people for their help with this and inspiration. One is Maverick. You've been awesome. Thank you so much for all of your advice on this build. Canadian Moose Plays. I love your Canadian builds. Keep it going. It's awesome. City Planner Plays. Huge inspiration for me even starting this. And Clearwater County is a good inspiration for this build. And again, thank you for watching. I really enjoy putting these together, and I've been wanting to tell this story of this build for about a year, so I'm kind of happy that it's finally coming together. Take care, everyone, and enjoy the cinematics.